We suck. Patriots suck. I don't know what to do. Matt Patricia can't call plays. I don't know why he's doing it. He did in Detroit and failed. This is so annoying. We lost to the Dolphins by 13. We threw a pick on the first drive. That's just wonderful. Mac Jones fumbled and was recovered for a touchdown. That's just amazing. But hey, that's not what this video is about. I'm just salty. This video is about two players in the NFC East coming back from injuries and looking explosive and great in their first games back. Those guys are Curtis Samuel, gadget guy for the Washington Commanders, and Saquon Barkley, absolute dog of a running back for the New York Giants. Now, before I get into this video, make sure you guys like and subscribe to the channel, as all support is very much appreciated, helps me out more than you know. Now, let's get right into Curtis Samuel and Saquon Barkley. Everyone knows Saquon's been dealing with injuries. I mean, it's not a doubt at this point. Everyone knows he played 13 games last year, 2 the year before, 13 the year before. In those 13 games last year, he was just bad. 593 yards on 3.7 yards per attempt. I mean, Saquon didn't look like himself. He didn't look as explosive. And I've always loved Saquon. But my biggest issue with him has always been the fact that he's always been kind of a home run or absolute strikeout type of guy. He'll either get you a 50-yard gain or 2 yards. But then he comes in yesterday versus the Titans in a new offense with a very much improved offensive line. And I say that because Andrew Thomas is now a great tackle. They drafted Evan Neal, and there's been some development along the line. There's that, plus they have Brian Daboll, who was just a dog of an offensive play caller. Did you guys see the balls he had to go for 2? He wanted to win that locker room over, and he did. But unlike Matt Rule and the Panthers, which I'm not going to talk about in this video, but Matt Rule needs to be fired. He does not know how to use Christian McCaffrey or Baker Mayfield to his strengths. Daboll knew how to use Saquon. He got him in space, as he caught 6 catches for only 30 yards, but still got some receptions in there. He ran the ball 18 times. He ran him outside, inside, and that's what I want to talk about real quick. Saquon showed something that he hasn't really shown, at least in the past couple years, but I'd say for a good portion of his career. He showed patience. Like I said, he's either a home run or strikeout type of guy for most of his career because he wasn't a patient and didn't have good vision type of running back. For the most part. Sometimes he did, but you know what I'm saying. But yesterday, during the game, we saw that stuff from Saquon that we've always wanted to see. Like yesterday, there was a run where defensive tackle for the Tennessee Titans, Kevin Strong, had a great get off the line and pushed center back in the backfield. Saquon then readjusts, and instead of bouncing the outside like a lot of running backs might, he goes in the inside and only gets about 4 yards, but it's still a great gain and shows development that he's not just trying to get to the outside, where a defensive lineman could just disengage and then go after Saquon and get him for like a 2-yard gain, but instead he gets like a 4 or 5-yard gain because he stops, goes up the middle, attacks the defensive tackle kind of in a way, but still goes away from him and gets that decent gain for the Giants offense. And he also looked explosive because on that same play, he wasn't going fast at the time, but then he just immediately bursts using his big quads. Sorry, I had to say it at one point. That's a drinking game. Whenever someone mentions Saquon's big quads, take a sip. But uses that power he has and gets up the field for that 4-yard gain. There are also many good runs like the 68-yard run, which was just explosive. That was the Saquon we're used to seeing, those home run type of runs, but he wasn't as inconsistent as he was in the past. I think this game really showed how Saquon has simply just developed as a player coming into his 5th year, and if he stays healthy, he'll be back to that top 5 running back status, when in the past couple years, he's kind of dropped out of the top 10 in my opinion. Not really because of skill, but I mean last year he was inefficient, and he's just been hurt recently. But yesterday, we saw a powerful running style, running with that like nose-headed, that's such the wrong saying, but you know what I'm trying to say, like an angry run style, dropping a shoulder type of deal that we've seen before, but he did it very well yesterday, very explosive. And there was also another play where he ran into a hole that didn't even exist yet, but because of his developed patience and some ball carrier vision that was absolutely incredible yesterday, he turned into a very nice gain. Overall, A+ game from Saquon. If he stays healthy, top 5 back, fantasy, running back 1, no doubt. I love fantasy, I just don't really talk about it on this channel. But whether or not I talk about fantasy on this channel, doesn't matter. Saquon's back and better than ever, trust me. He's going to be potentially a top 3 to the best running back in the league this year. Another guy who just came back from injury is Gadget, original Deebo Samuel, but not as good, definitely not as good. Curtis Samuel, wide receiver, running back, Gadget, whatever you want to call him. for the Washington Commanders. In this first week, we saw a clear connection with Carson Wentz. I mean, as you guys know, I like Carson Wentz. I know he's not as good as I thought he was. I understand you guys don't have to say anything, especially you, Mike Kennedy. Shut up. He had 8 catches for 55 yards, a touchdown, 4 carries for 17 yards. That's basically what we're going to see out of every game. Now, yes, the yards per reception and air yards, awful. I mean, let's be honest here, his average depth of target was 1 yard, but that doesn't matter. That's not what he's there for. We saw it in 2020 with Carolina on 77 catches, 851 yards, 41 rushes for 200 yards. Overall, I mean, that's just how he's going to be. He's going to get you a bunch of touches. He had over 100 and like 18 touches. Sure, I haven't taken a math class in 2 years. I don't need to. I'm a sport leadership major. What do you think I need? What do I need that for? Anyways, sorry. Curtis Samuel looked like the third down guy, like a third and Renfro type of guy. He had 5 first downs yesterday catching and 1 running. He had like 3 third down catches that all resulted in first downs. He had 1 second and 20 catch that got them to like 3rd and 10. That's exactly the type of catch you need on a 2nd and 20 just to get you back into manageable 3rd down. Now, I don't know if they converted the 3rd down. I was just watching a Curtis Samuel film analysis to prepare for this video. So, I mean, overall, I don't know, whatever. But Curtis Samuel looked great. We haven't seen him really play except for like 5 games last year where he barely got any snaps because he couldn't really play. He was still injured. He was trying to get back into the swing of things. He's going to succeed in this type of role. I mean, Scott Turner yesterday was just drawing up plays specifically for him. Hey, he had more catches than Jahan Dotson and Terry McLaurin. While Jahan Dotson did impress a lot, I loved what I saw. He had 2 touchdowns. The first one was a great catch in the end zone. The other one I actually did not see, and that's my apologies. I shouldn't have even talked about it. But I mean, McLaurin had only 2 catches, 58 yards, and a touchdown. Dotson had 3 catches, 40 yards, and 2 touchdowns. He had more than both of them combined. I mean, for some reason, Antonio Gibson had 7. What's up with him, dude? Is he a special teamer? Is he going to start? I know Brian Robinson got shot. I'm sorry for him, by the way. Hope he gets better soon. But anyways, Curtis Samuel's utilization of this offense is going to be key to their success. Now, I don't have the Commanders being a playoff team, but for them to be a top half type of offense, I mean, they have a quarterback who can get you there. Carson Wentz, we all know he's not great, but he's good to help your team's floor at this point, as we saw with the Colts last year. I mean, they met their floor. They didn't really meet their ceiling because of 2 bad games for the whole team, including Carson with Jacksonville and the Week 17 game. But Carson will get you to a top half offense just because he's a veteran quarterback who's proven himself, but also had some bad moments as well. Now, Ron Rivera is also the coach, who's a great coach. We've seen him go 15-1. I'm pretty sure he has 2 Coach of the Year awards. And Scott Turner, I don't really know much about him, but it seems like he is a great play caller based on the play calls he was making yesterday. Whether it was for Samuel, Dotson in the red zone, or anyone else besides Terry McLaurin, he did very well. He got the running back involved, got the fake running back involved in Curtis Samuel. I think Curtis Samuel is going to have a similar season that 2020 year. About 70-ish catches, like 800 to 900 yards, and maybe 150 to 250 yards on the ground with a couple touchdowns. Maybe he could be a 10 total touchdown type of guy. Who knows yet? But overall, Curtis Samuel, great game, come back from injury. He's going to be a great story to watch this year. He looks explosive. He's getting 3rd down catches, which is what matters a lot. That's what makes you money in the league, is being a 3rd down type of guy, even if you're not a star. We've seen that with Renfro. I mean, he did have 1,000 last year, but we've also seen it with Edelman, who again has had a couple 1,000-yard seasons. But those 3rd down type of guys, like him, Jamison Crowder, Cole Beasley, those types of guys find success because they come in the slot and have great plays on 3rd down. But also about Curtis, I want to talk about the touchdown. What the Commanders need to do more, which they did yesterday very well, is get Curtis Samuel with momentum and emotion. They motion him back in, and then he ran kind of that Devontae Adams play in the playoffs against Jalen Ramsey in a way where he motioned, then went back to the side he came from once the ball snapped, catch touchdown, flat into the end zone. Those type plays are great plays for people like Samuel because you get him in space a little bit, even though it was only like 2 yards. They will make the play, probably get the touchdown or first down depending on where they are in the field. For Saquon and Curtis to be successful this year, they have one simple mission, which is avoid injuries, which is hard in a 17-game season, a very physical sport, but as long as they can do that, I see these two having bounce-back type of years where Saquon is one of the best running backs in the league, like top 3, top 5, maybe even the best in the league, and Curtis Samuel is one of those gadget type of guys, like a Debo, like a Taysom Hill, but, fake Taysom Hill, whatever. But he's one of the best at that, and a great slot guy, great 3rd down guy. That's all the Commanders and the Giants need for them to be successful. Now, will either of these two NFC East teams make the playoffs? No. No shot. Sorry for the ear stuff right there, but the offenses will be a lot better if those two can get it going on the ground and in the air and just be explosive, patient, have great vision for Saquon, and for Curtis, have Scott Turner get him in motion, hit him on third downs, and hopefully Carson Wentz doesn't fall apart at the end of the year like he has in the past. Screw you, Carson. I still like you. I'm sorry. I didn't mean that. I didn't mean that. I really... Dude, come on. Stop. I'm sorry. Please. And with all that being said, that is it for me, guys. Thank you for tuning into Fanatic Sports. If you made it this far in the video, come on, just give it a like and subscribe to the channel. If you've already made it this far in the video, it means you like me for some reason, right? I think so. Also, follow me on Instagram at FanaticSports25 and on Twitter and TikTok at Fanatic Sports. This is Joe of Fanatic Sports. Almost caught that. Almost dropped it. Signing off.